January, February, March, April, May, Pride. Well, June is Pride month and the perfect time for you to know your Pride alphabet. LGBTQIA+. L is for lesbian. A female person, also someone who identifies as one, who is romantically or sexually attracted to other female person. That does not mean that any woman who has had sex with another woman is a lesbian. Don't overgeneralize. There are so many myths around homosexuality and being a lesbian. Myth number 1. All lesbians are tomboys. No, all lesbians are not tomboys. Neither are all tomboys lesbians. It's high time we stop judging people based on their appearance or sexuality. Get a life. Myth number 2. Every lesbian a girl meets is in love with her. Well, is every boy a girl meets is in love with her, or every girl a boy meets in love with him? Grow up. Think for yourselves. Myth number 3. Lesbians have short hair. Are you saying you're scared to cut your hair short because you don't want to be perceived as a lesbian? You're doing some great injustice to your fashion statement. Let me tell you, it's amazing. G is for gay. Male person or someone who identifies as one who is romantically or sexually attracted to another male person. That does not mean that any man who has had sex with another man is gay. Again, don't overgeneralize. There are so many myths around homosexuality. Myth number 1. They choose to be gays. That's such a common notion. But think about it. Did you ever choose to be heterosexual? Well, if you did, I have some news for you. Myth number 2. Homosexuality is a mental health problem. Well, it isn't. But do you know what's a mental health problem and has been declared as one? Homophobia. Myth number 3. Gay people are more prone to sexually transmitted diseases. Well, a homosexual person is as prone to STDs as a heterosexual person. You're missing a key point here. Safety and safe sex and consent, please. B is for bisexuality. Bisexuality is romantic attraction, sexual attraction or sexual behavior towards both males and females, or to more than one sex or gender. It may also be defined as romantic or sexual attraction to people of any sex or gender identity, which is also known as pansexuality. And there are so many myths. Myth number 1. People who consider themselves bisexual are really heterosexual but are experimenting, playing, trying to be cool, liberated, trendy, or politically correct. The reality is, an individual might be experimenting to better understand how to identify themselves. T is for transgender or transsexual. Transgender is basically an umbrella term for people whose gender identity differs from what is typically associated with the sex they were assigned at birth. Transsexuals experience a gender identity inconsistency or cannot culturally associate with the sex they were assigned with at birth. And myths are rampant. For example, one myth is that trans people are gay. Note to self: being trans is about gender, not sexuality. Trans people can be gay, straight, or bi, or pansexual for that matter. Anything. Myth number 2, transgender identity is a mental illness. Do you want an answer in one word? No. Q is for queer. Queer is again an umbrella term for sexual or gender minorities that are not heterosexual or cisgender. It's a word charged with as many emotions, meanings, and historical perspectives as there are shades of LGBTQ+ identity. I is for intersex. Intersex is a variation in sex characteristics, including chromosomes, gonads, or genitals, that do not allow an individual to be distinctly identified as male or female. Let's consider the myths. Myth 1 says intersex people can't have sex, get pregnant, or have children. Key phrase here is everyone's different. There are intersex people who can have periods or carry children, and many who can produce sperm. There are some who can't. There are intersex people who found out that they have both ovarian and testicular tissue after giving birth. A is for asexual. Now, let's get facts right. Sexuality is not just about orientation, but it's a spectrum. At one end are sexual people, meaning who are attracted to other people sexually. At the other end are people who are asexual, meaning those who are not interested in others or attracted to others sexually, or have low or absent interest in sexual activity. Ooh, and the myth. Myth 1 is that asexual people are lonely and unavailable to love. Well, there's a difference between romantic love and sexual attraction. Think about it. But what's the plus in LGBTQIA+? Well, as we talked about, sexuality is a spectrum, and simply homosexuality or heterosexuality doesn't cover it. And that's why we need a plus, because we need to know and we need to understand and see that this beautiful rainbow is made of all colors. What other colors? Colors like pansexuality, omnisexuality, agender, genderqueer, bigender, gender variant, pangender, and so many more. Just know it's a colorful world, isn't it?